Google has released a cursor killer product. They're calling it anti-gravity. This is an extremely big release in my opinion and a new direction taken by Google. For the very first time, they have released an IDE which is downloadable. Google has done this in the past with Firebase Studio as a vibe coding product. They have done it with IDX, which was an in-browser IDE, but nothing really took off. This time they are coming back with anti-gravity, which is built by the team of Windsurf, which is again itself sort of like a huge scene that happened. If you don't know, Windsurf is another competing product like Cursor. It was a standalone company of its own, but the management of the Windsurf got acquired by Google. That's the TLDR of the story. The top people, founder level people, and a few more top level engineers were taken by Google. Google did not acquire the product, most likely avoiding antitrust or monopoly clauses or whatever. So they just took the people. Those people themselves took the code base with them, and they have now launched anti-gravity, which looks and feels very similar to Windsurf, right? So I've been trying out Windsurf for a few days now, and if you look at this interface, you would see that anti-gravity is basically extremely similar to how you would find Cursor or even Windsurf as tools. So I use Cursor and Windsurf a lot with Fermion, which is our startup for building online education platforms. If you want to conduct live classes, coding labs, if you want like a whole AI powered LMS system, you use Fermion as a platform. So this is a great platform used by hundreds of businesses for conducting such operations. And because we work with hundreds of businesses, we get very specific tickets and requirements that, hey, I want to do this XYZ thing inside the platform. For example, somebody might want that, hey, I want these links to be customizable. I should be able to do this and that. This widget should be customizable. My users should see a specific view and so on. Because it's a managed LMS platform as well, we have these very, very small but large number of tickets coming in from clients. And this makes it very much possible to use AI to a large extent, because most of these tasks are small. The way the system that we have built, they can be somewhat done with AI itself. All right, so coming back to the actual thing, I have a lot of things to share. But first of all, one of the things which interests me a lot is that anti-gravity is not only built by people who were working at Windsurf, but it's actually a product that is built with Windsurf's code base itself. So if you look at Cursor and anti-gravity, for example, you would see that obviously both of them are built on top of VS Code, which is open source, which is fine. But in case of Windsurf, I don't know if Windsurf was truly open source or not, because if you go to this help and if you go to developer tools over here, you will see, because these are like applications which are built on top of Chromium itself, which is basically Electron, you can just debug them as local Chrome apps, right? And if I search for Windsurf in the code base over here, you will see that there are a lot of places in the code base where, especially with Cascade, which is a Windsurf feature, where you would see that Windsurf's branding is still there. So this is where Google did a little bit of oopsie, where in terms of rebranding anti-gravity, they actually forgot to remove Windsurf's references completely. I don't know if this can be something serious. I don't know if this is actually cause for like Windsurf can sue Google or not, but this is definitely interesting because it's in the open, right? So people can actually see that this is basically a pure copy of Windsurf, and then of course they have built on top of it, they have changed a bunch of things here and there. So that is one thing. The other thing is obviously that you need a Google account in order to use anti-gravity, which itself is interesting because it's free right now. If you go to their pricing page, you will see that anti-gravity is basically free right now, but you just need a Google account. And hey, everyone has a Google account, right? So you don't have to do anything extra on top of that. But the most impressive part about anti-gravity is that this gives you access to Gemini 3 Pro, which was very recently released, like just yesterday. It gives you access to Claude Sonnet 4.5, and it gives you GPT open source model, which is not really that good, so you should not be using this. But the first two models are really good for development also, right? This is the market eater thing, I feel. This is something where Google is actually coming to eat up Cursor share. They will take a loss at it. They don't care about it. They want to destroy the market and they want to get everything for themselves. It's basically a bloodbath at this point. Now, what these editors are also trying to do is they're trying to head over a little bit on the agentic side, whatever that means. So even in case of Cursor, you would see that in their version 2 release or something, they released a completely new tab called agents. This is basically sort of like, I won't say like it's a vibe code builder, but you can think of it in that way, where your editor sort of disappears and you just have to ask the IDE itself to build something and it will just keep on doing that. The same thing somewhat exists in case of anti-gravity as well. They're calling it as agent manager. With their agent manager, the thing is that they're saying that you can spin off multiple agents as well, and you are basically an agent manager, right? At this point, they also give you the ability to spin up a browser, which is basically something which the AI agent can see, and it can take screenshots and it can get feedback from itself. So you can install this extension and you can get started with that. I have not been a huge fan of these browser-based AI feedback loops so far, because the last time I tried it, which has been, I mean, in AI days and AI weeks, it has been a very long time. But the last time I tried it, it was not as good, right? So the feedback loop works great if you have something like ESLint or TypeScript or some sort of linter step involved, which your IDE can directly link with the AI system. But if you're doing it outside the IDE, like browsers taking screenshots and you're asking it to fix some sort of UI bug or UI problem, historically I have seen that does not work really good. So that is one of the issues that I have seen. But nonetheless, if that is your deal, you can obviously use browser and you can link agent work with that also. In terms of models, talking a little bit about this, I did try this with a bunch of these models. Gemini 3 Pro High has very restrictive limits right now, so you won't be able to use it much. Even if you start using it, maybe like a couple of issues here and there, maybe like for 10-15 minutes you can use this, and then the usage just dies off. So you have to switch to Gemini 3 Pro Low, or you have to switch to Claude Sonnet. Other than this, you would find that this itself is a little bit buggy, right? So let me show you a video that I just recorded at the time of working. So this is one of the snippets that I just recorded from this editor itself when I was working on it yesterday. So this is anti-gravity. I forgot to record the full screen, but you would see that this is basically extremely buggy right now. Sometimes what happens is that when it's doing these diffs, it would automatically start to show these multiple lines, and then accept and reject would also come to multiple places, which is somewhat irritating because it required me basically to restart the editor completely, and that resulted in loss of these rich diffs which were there. So I had to manually then check the code base. So these bugs are there right now in their first release. I'm sure there are many other small things here and there. Their preference panel, for example, here is also different compared to how VS Code style panels look like. They generally open inside the interface itself. Like with cursor also, you would see that the settings open directly inside the interface, but Google has decided that we want to keep it outside, right? Tab, I'm not a huge fan. This is the first thing I disabled. I generally don't like this feature at all, whether that's cursor, Windsurf, VS Code, GitHub Copilot, any of that. I don't know how people work with this. I can't work with tabs on. It is just too distracting. It's too much friction. It just starts suggesting things which I don't want. It just breaks my flow completely. So I don't use this at all, but do let me know in the comments if you're a serious developer and you find this useful in some scenarios. But I don't use this at all. And finally, one of the most important bits which I think Google should fix is that they don't have just a planning mode. So in case of cursor, for example, you would see that there are 3 modes: agent, plan, and ask. In case of Claude, there are 2 modes. First is planning and second is agent, and ask also, right? I mean, you can use sort of planning as an ask itself. So even if you open Claude Code or cursor, you have the ability to jump into just plan mode. This plan mode basically means that the agent itself will perform no edits of any sorts, right? So when I'm discussing something with it, and if I hit enter, it would not go and start editing files. This is true for cursor. This is also true for Claude Code. This is not true for anti-gravity. Anti-gravity's planning mode does start with a plan in mind, but it also just goes and starts doing that plan. I don't want that. I want to revise the plan. I want to make changes. I want to suggest changes first before you start doing that, right? That's not there. And that is something which I really dislike, because I can't use this for issues which are relatively large, and I want to review the plan before agent goes and do that. This is something that Google should definitely fix. I feel, in my opinion, there is no mode for doing just a plan. So you just don't go ahead and start doing edits right away. I mean, I can obviously ask it in the prompt, but that's not enforced on the model level. The model still has access to the file system. It can still start making changes. Most of these models now are smart enough, like Claude and Gemini 3 Pro, that they won't do that. They will follow my instructions. But still, it would be nice to have that, the model just does not have the ability to edit files at all, like Claude Code does. So that is my final feedback. Overall, what I feel about this space in general is that it's pretty brutal, because Google, if you look at Google's pricing and positioning here, Google has no intention of monetizing this. Google wants to get to user base first. They want to make you addicted. I would not be surprised if Google keeps this free for multiple months. If they're investing a lot of money, which I am surely believing that they are, they bought the Windsurf team for very expensive price tag, right? So if they're doing that, then they don't want to monetize you right now, which means it's an excellent opportunity for every single developer aspiring and engineers who are senior developers to use this tool, to use Gemini 3, Claude, Sonnet and these models to do your work faster and for cheaper. I mean, if you're already paying like, if you're paying something like on the north of $200 or something for Cursor's Ultra plan, you can definitely see some level of tasks getting shifted to Google's anti-gravity. I'm sure there are many rate limits and things which are there already, and there is no way to increase them right now with anti-gravity, but that is what you get for a free plan, right? So basically you can try it out, you can make it possible that if you're a very heavy user, I do agree that at some level it will not be possible to use something like anti-gravity. But if you are a pro user or a pro plus user, I feel that Google is behind this market. Google is trying to steal these customers, and once they get an idea of like, okay, we have like a few million developers on board, which can correspond to maybe like $1 billion in ARR if we shift to pricing now, Google will take it out and Google will come with team plan, enterprise plan. They will link it with Google Workspace and Google Cloud. Maybe, I don't know like what they plan to do, but this is a market which is big enough, right? Because if you see Cursor is already at $1 billion in ARR as they report. They have raised like $2.5 billion in Series D funding. So it's a big enough market, and Google is right to bet on this. Google historically does not take bets smaller than a few billion in outcome. They just shut off the products like they did with Google Domains. But I do feel that this will play out well in their case, because before anti-gravity, Google's positioning was always for vibe coders. It was always for people who just want to prompt and get. And if you actually are careful in this space, you would see companies like even Lovable and Replit, which are not at MRR rates or ARR rates compared to Cursor. Lovable, for example, they announced that they are at 200 million ARR. I don't know how much churn there is in that business. I don't know how healthy their business is, but look at Cursor. Compared to that, Cursor is 5 times bigger than Lovable, and it's only meant for serious builders, right? Because obviously nobody is really downloading an IDE in their computer who's not technical, right? That does not aspire to be one. So this market is definitely bigger than vibe coding market. We see it from public products right now as well, and this is going to increase, I feel, because the productivity unlock is massive for developers. That's all for this video. If you like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and do share me your feedback in comments. What do you think about anti-gravity? And personally, I just love the name and I love the domain as well. Google is really flexing off here with their top level domain over here, like not even google.com. It's just antigravity.google. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next video very soon.